Welcome to Digestive Reset. It's Ina here at digestivereset.com. So we are going to touch on a really important topic for me, especially as a practitioner and as a patient in remission. I wanted to share with you my newly prepared PowerPoint. I think it can get you a great idea on what to expect from my program if you're ever interested, or simply give you tools to do it on your own. So let's dive in. So Digestive Reset, I call my program, and this talk is about fixing your gut by decreasing inflammation, improving gut microbiome, detoxing your digestive tract, and improving your nutritional intake. What does all this mean, and does this remind you of you? Is this you? Do you occasionally have constipation? Do you have the diarrhea, chronic or acute? Do you have indigestion? Do you have reflux, belching, gases? Do you have irritable bowels, Crohn's or colitis, abdominal pain, and a terrible, unbearable fatigue? If you're that patient and you've been through many forums, blogs, groups, talks, and you're still not feeling better, I'm hoping this talk is for you. I really put my heart and soul and decade of research into figuring things out for you and me. You've probably tried so many things, so what else is there? I just want to quickly tell you about Julie, a client that's 36 years old, chronic digestive problems. And she had most of the symptoms that I mentioned. She realized that her symptoms were causing her to become a person she didn't recognize. She was no longer a cheerful, happy girl that was usually comforting others. She was the help. She was losing her job, having all these symptoms, her sanity, and possibly her husband because of all the symptoms and chronic diarrhea. She was very, very embarrassed and constantly having to go. The sex life was affected as well. Kids were affected, and the way she physically felt made her really depressed. If you could understand, if you've been through all this, you could understand all how she felt. And a little bit about me. I had a very stressful job too. I was diagnosed first with ulcerative colitis. And that was after having my first child. After the second child, it came back with a vengeance, and I was in ICU for a year in and out, and they finally diagnosed me with Crohn's disease with medications after adding in more and more. And I was feeling really tired from the medications. I did not feel a major relief. I was fatigued unbearably, and I had side effects. So I felt like I had to research. Being a scientist by nature and curious and a pharmacist, I had to find out what other options are there. I went through a couple of different practitioners. I've tried many different methods. And I thought that I'd look for more alternative, more complementary style. I traveled to Brazil. I saw John of God there. It was a really interesting experience, interesting healing. And I believe that there had to be another way that should help. I knew other people that non-traditional medicine worked for, so maybe it would work for me then. I tried the acupuncture method, the breathing by Buteyko's method, and acupressure, chiropractor, many, many different modalities that were not traditional. that started helping slowly but surely. And finally, I found functional medicine, and I fell in love with it because me being a curious scientist by nature, it got me to understand where is the root cause and why is anything happening while just patching the symptom, just masking the problem. So what my objections for today for you guys to learn, I want you to learn a couple of tools that will help you, with my help or without my help in the future, to resolve your situation. So I do want you to learn about other options to heal. So I'm sure by now you all know that there's more than just the traditional route. Some call it alternative, some call it holistic, whichever you call it. I like to now call it complementary style, because you still need your absolutely traditional medicine. It just, the complementary style medicine could give you now more. So more is the key word. And now you're gonna learn how to decrease inflammation with help of functional medicine. You're going to understand that there are other diagnostics, like functional diagnostics, that can be useful. There's functional nutrition that can work for chronic digestive problems. We're going to touch on research about nutraceuticals for digestive health. And we're also going to talk about effective stress reduction methods and more. So let's just start about the talk about other options to heal. Like I started telling you, the traditional route is definitely, that's how you're going to get your diagnosis. That's how the medicine is set up. They investigate your situation very well to give you a correct diagnosis. Hopefully you've been to a great doctor that was able to do that already. In non-traditional route, there are many ways. Now it's something we call integrative, where possibly traditional doctor already understands alternative and holistic ways and able to put it all together in their practice. Some able to refer to practitioners, like in my case, I'm bringing you functional medicine and work with the medical doctor as your doctor. And in collaborative work, we get you that integrative route. There are practitioners that are holistic only. Those are great, and relaxation methods and other options that you choose. Alternative and complementary medicine, that's what I was mentioning before. Complementary medicine is when you potentiate, you enhance whatever you achieve with your doctor. And those, there are options all over now and more recognized, not like when I was diagnosed a decade ago. All these were like considered wackos, and now acupressure, acupuncture, aromatherapy, Ayurvedic medicine, balneotherapy, that's hydrotherapy, biofeedback, chiropractic, homeopathy, naturopathy, reflexology, Reiki, all these are recognized, and we do appreciate those kind of therapies. In my practice, I have options of functional medicine, lymphatic detoxification through LAT, which is a lymphatic enhancement technology. I have a certified massage therapist doing that. And I also have an option of pure bioenergy, which is energy healing, but the really unique different methods that originated in Europe. So those are the three modalities. My major concentration is on functional medicine, and that's where I'm able to help. So the next step, as I wanted to discuss, was how to decrease the inflammation with the help of functional medicine. Adrenal support is very important, and it's the key to address inflammation. Balancing adrenals helps you balance your blood sugar better. It improves your sleep, because if you, for example, having a high cortisol in the evening and being able to calm it down, you fall in your sleep better, you're keeping that sleep much better. Getting rid of fatigue, because when your adrenal output is very, very poor, you can have you can certainly have fatigue, and you could certainly be exhausted. I'm going to mute you. I'm sorry, if you don't mind. So that will help your fatigue. It will also help your sex hormones, because those are all combined together between DHEA, between your cortisol, between your estrogen, progesterone, estriol, estradiol. All these sex hormones are all interrelated, and one depends on the other, especially if there's a case of pregnenolone steal, when you're in a really exhaustive state of adrenals. So once you start fixing adrenals, and sex hormones also are very much improved. So functional diagnostic testing is super important for selecting best adrenal support. So yes, it's very easy to go and pick up a bottle of adrenal support now in a health food store or online. But would it be the best for you? If you're doing correct testing, we're able to see the results better and correct it more individually. So I always opt out for that. And those could include saliva, urine, dry urine testing, and also traditional medicine now offers measurements of cortisol, DHEA, just those would be a little different, and that's another whole big discussion there. So how other diagnostics, like functional diagnostics, can be useful? In functional diagnostics, we are often, again, back to getting to the root cause of the illness, of the problem. We try to dig, we try to figure out what was the original cause, why is this happening, and no matter the diagnosis, we want to figure out what triggered. Because yes, we know there are many patients that have immune predisposition, but some with the same immune predisposition will never get sick, and others with the same immune predisposition would get major symptoms. And why is that? So that's a big room for investigation and scientific research, and we will love to dig into that. PCR technology for stool testing is something I really find indispensable when I offer my consultation, my coaching for clients. I find that half the battle a lot of times, because a lot of patients with chronic digestive problems have things like parasites, bacteria, increased autoimmune triggers, and gluten markers that are elevated, gut inflammation markers like calprotectin and SIG-IgA marker for immune system, candida overgrowth. We have some enzymatic activity markers that can tell us more about your enzyme production and how well you're able to release acid when your food goes down. Fat malabsorption markers could show on PCR PCR test, stool testing, if there's some kind of inflammation, those could be elevated. And there are plenty of other markers that could dig and help us figure out what is behind your current chronic digestive situation, from anything small like indigestion or heartburn to severe situations where you have a major attack of Crohn's. Other tests include oats, which we like to do, not always in the beginning, but that type of testing we like to do when we already are through with adrenals, and when we are often help you with digestive symptoms. Neurotransmitter testing helps too. We look at your serotonin markers and your tyrosine and ratios, and sometimes just from having digestive problems, your 5-HTP is not being made, and therefore you're having some kind of depressed symptoms, and that also, once you heal the gut, could be improved. We offer metal testing, and with urine, with hair. Sometimes people with severe toxicities are very ill, and detoxification process takes long, but at least we find out what was the reason, and we start at it. SIBO testing is important for certain clients. Food sensitivity testing if we suspect a major food allergy or sensitivity. So what about functional nutrition for chronic digestive problems? Yes, it's extremely important to have the right kind of diet. You can do all these functional diagnostic, get you the supplements you need, do all the things right without having to invest into a good, healthy, clean diet. You want to start with whole foods. You want to do vegetables, proteins. If you are separating your foods into carbs, and carbs, by carbs I mean minimum amount of starchy carbs to a maximum amount of vegetables. You obviously want to drink a lot. You want to make sure that your water is proper, that has minerals. You have to possibly invest into filters. You want to minimize the amount of sugary fruits. You do want to get plenty of berries. They're low glycemic index, so make sure you load up on those. You want to invest into plant-based foods, whole foods. If you're doing meat, that is absolutely fine. You don't want to do meat all the time. You do want to invest into more plant-based foods for healing purposes, for digestion purposes, for acidity purposes, or for at least that healing diet period. Those that start with elimination diet in my program, and I don't always do that, for some we have to, then the elimination diets, they vary. There are at least a few different types of them. You would avoid major food allergens like soy, corn, dairy, eggs, gluten, and you hold it for a while, and then you add one food at a time to see if possibly one can be the culprit and be that allergen, food allergen. That will save you the cost on food sensitivity testing sometimes, but not always. Can't always give you the answer. So research on nutraceuticals is quite extensive. I have my doctorate paper from December that I did on probiotics for Crohn's and colitis, and I did investigate other nutraceuticals for that purpose, and I do have a lot of information on that in my book, and I'll give you more about my book in the end. So all these following supplements and nutraceuticals were investigated with whether small studies or large ones, but they were all investigated for digestive health, for Crohn's and colitis and IBS. So probiotics do show really good data. Enzymes have supportive data. Turmeric has great data. L-glutamine for the intestinal lining is great. Boswellia has a very good anti-inflammatory power. Ginger is great for digestion. Quercetin, depending on the case, immune system, and even allergy season, people during this time. If you're taking anything out of today's talk, quercetin, and you're having allergies, grab that bottle of quercetin. You'll feel much better. Cytozymes also been investigated, and immunoglobulins. That's one of the biggest research now that I really enjoy reading, because there are now nutraceuticals available, and they do have a great support for Crohn's and colitis patients and other chronic digestive patients. So on effective stress reduction, no program would be perfect for anyone that's healing their gut without addressing their stress. If you do not do that part of the puzzle, you'll always have the missing puzzle piece. So you'll need to find something you enjoy. You need to find something where you feel feel comfortable doing, but you do need to do whether daily or weekly, twice, but it has to be regular, and you have to like that feeling of relaxation. You could use a hypnotherapy. You could use a great hypnotherapist for that. You could use EFTs. You could use meditation, deep breathing. Could go for psychotherapy, group support system. Just learning to say no. There are effective studies that prove if you're learning to say no, that will already help your digestive system, and that's not a joke. But usually Crohn's colitis, autoimmune patients, they're type A personalities. They're go-getters, and they try to push. They need to learn how to rest too, and sleep, obviously, and not so obviously. You don't realize what importance sleep has for digestive health. So digestive detox. Oh, I love this picture because it's like so like it makes you think really quickly. Oh, this is what happens in your gut when you eat this or that. With digestive detox, you do want to power up and load up an anti-inflammatory diet. You want to get fermented foods in. This way you get natural probiotic with your food. It's healing and very, very and great for immune system. You want to make sure you're going to the bathroom at least once a day. If you're more of a constipated type, you might want to add magnesium, unless you're super irritable right now and you're inflamed, then you may not want to go for magnesium. For some, intermittent fasting is working, but you could only try that if you don't have insulin resistance, if you don't have any blood sugar instabilities. Cleanses are highly recommended. Essential oils are recommended. Supplements and nutraceuticals for digestive detox, there are plenty now. I always go for individual approach, because finding your detox supplements is crucial for best outcome. Castor oil packs are great if you want to look up how to do those. Those are great for detoxification. And during the digestive detox time, you want to decrease the animal protein and increase your plant-based. And moving, lymphatic detox, that's offered in my practice, but you could do any other type. With nutritional reset, you want to make sure if we eliminated, for example, bugs, parasites, and other pathogens, you want to put the right nutrition right back in, the probiotics. You want to put multiple nutrients and vitamins, so make that plate colorful. Rotate your foods, add lots of plant-based foods, beans as natural prebiotics, lots of greens. You want to add bone broth in, collagen, healthful oils is very important, avocado and olive oil. For your gut microbiome, in my book, I mentioned 4 to 5 R system, because yes, once we remove the pathogens, now what do? We have to repopulate the good bacteria. So first we remove if there is a parasite, bacteria, overgrowth, candida, etc. Then we replace, then we repair that lining, and then we repopulate with a good probiotic, proper probiotic. And you do want to change up the probiotic depending where you are after eliminating, after removing. And there are plenty of probiotics that show great effectiveness. If you just want to go on your own, you won't go wrong with spore probiotics, soil-based, human-compatible strains, bacilli, lactose, as Boulardii. And prebiotics are very important because they're food to probiotics. In order for you to get in most benefit out of the probiotic, you want to put prebiotics back in. Whether you're going to do it with food or with supplement, that's up to you, but you do need to make sure you put those back in. And I do realize how tough it is to do it all right on your own and just generally do something different. And I know as a patient who's in remission that had to go through all this, I know that it's not easy to change your habits of eating if you love something that you have for breakfast, or if you love your cup of coffee, if you love your bagel for breakfast, and you've been doing it for 30 years, how are you going to change that habit? So yes, it's something to work around, and your lifestyle habits, you're going to need to get into that. Bathroom habits, dietary. I get it all. I do want you to feel better. And I do want you to start going out more and have more joyous time with your family, more productivity at work. So it's all worth the investment of doing it, because you do get such positive results later. That's it's indispensable. So whether you would like the support from your support groups or family, and can use all these tools that I mentioned before, that's wonderful. If you want to find out a little more information about me, I'm a doctor of pharmacy. I'm a founder of functional medicine consulting practice called Real Health Solutions. I'm a creator of digestive solutions for Crohn's and colitis, and I'm a mom of 3 boys. I work with clients locally and distance, and I'm helping people to reset their digestion, balance their hormones, detox really well, reduce their inflammatory symptoms, and get more energy to restore immune system health. And I live with my family in Marlboro, New Jersey. So just to show how committed I am to everyone, I'm really, really committed to my clients. If we do make that commitment to get into your program and stay with it, I'm on top of all the newest information. I'm on top of the newest articles and journals and anything related to digestive health and gastrointestinal health. Just this month in May, just recent study published something about vitamin D levels that I will be talking to every client that has Crohn's and colitis. That's currently on the program. We will discuss their vitamin D levels and their supplementation. In this particular study, they do suggest that you go for higher doses sometimes. And again, that would be depending on each individual one. And for the information how to reach me, if you're interested, my email is ina@digestivereset.com, INNA@digestivereset.com. And if you are interested to grab my book, I'll be more than happy to send you a copy. Just email me at that address. My office is in Marlboro, New Jersey. The phone number here is 732-414-6223. And I'll be more than happy to share my book. And if you need more information, I'll be here and I could send you an email with more information. Otherwise, I really thank you for joining. I really appreciate you spending the time. And I am here today available if you have questions, or if you want to give us a call at the office. And you could always put in the information through the email. Enjoy the rest of the day, and thank you so much.